Salutations everyone, this is Razor bringing you guys some Widowmaker on attack, because guess what? It is viable. Overwatch is a weird game, especially with the community that it has, as every community does, but so many people are just so concerned with the meta in this game. Oh, we need triple tank, or we need, you know, at least 2 tanks, we always need a Reinhardt, and, you know, yada yada yada. But as long as you play the character right, any character is viable at any level. There isn't even a single character at, you know, MLG level of play that we don't see get at least some playability. We see all characters get some of the limelight. So Overwatch is a very balanced game in that resort. There isn't 6, 10, or 15, or, you know, 20 characters that, no, those are the only usable characters. Every character is usable. You could say that about any game if it's played at its top level, but here you actually see every single player, every single character being played at top level. There are some teams that, on some cases, have Widowmaker as their primary DPS dealer, or Hanzo, and you know, you'll see Zenyatta's, and you'll see Pharah's, and Tracers, and, you know, Winston's, and, you know, characters that you might not see so much, or you don't see done very, very well. It's out there. It can be done, and it is done, and it can be done right. So with Widowmaker here on attack is something that, you know, players get a lot of flack for. Picking Widowmaker or Hanzo, especially, you know, sometimes Torbjorn or Bastion or Symmetra. But you always, like, I'm sure I'm not alone in this, is whenever I pick, I'm in competitive, as I hear right now, competitive season 3. Whenever I pick Hanzo or Widowmaker, 80% of the time I'll get a message, either politely, you know, please not Widowmaker, or maybe not Hanzo, or, you know, if I'm in the team voice chat, they'll be like, hey, do you mind switching? And I'll try to be polite back to them, but at the same time, it's like, you know what, no matter what character I am, if it's not working, of course I'm gonna switch. If I was Junkrat in this case and it wasn't working, I'd switch. If I was Reinhardt in this case and it wasn't working, I would switch. It's all about not so much how good the character is, but how well your team plays around that. So instead of this team complaining and moaning and not, you know, letting me do work, and I'm by no means the best Widowmaker in the world, I only hit 50% of my shots here in this game, but I do lead the team in eliminations, and we win the game, and that is what mattered. You're not just getting, you know, just trash frags that don't really matter. We have these 2 big units out here in this D.Va and this Reinhardt that I'm going to do my best to neutralize with the full power of my sniper and try to pick off their Ana a few times. D.Va when she's outside, and the Soldier when I have the range advantage. So as long as I play the role correctly and my teammates help me be effective, like this Mercy was healing me, instead of, you know, just complaining and, you know, picking Lucio and just being on the front lines, you know, speed boosting everybody. Like 3 times in this match, she comes to me and heals me and allows me to be effective, especially since Widowmaker at these long ranges that you see me going up against most of my targets here, even when it comes to a Soldier or, you know, a character that's, you know, really, really good against Widowmaker, their damage drop-off, or a Bastion or a Torbjorn turret, their damage drop-off makes that battle in Widowmaker's favor. So, you know, I'm trying to line up the headshots. I'm not taking every single shot that I see, but, you know, I'm not by any means perfect. There are sometimes I'm shooting way too often. Either I'm not shooting up at high enough power, or I'm just taking shots that aren't lined up properly, which you don't see, you know, the higher level Widowmakers make those kind of mistakes. But I'm putting myself in a position that would make me successful, using that Venom Mine to the greatest advantage, always keep using it whenever it's off cooldown, and because of that and the Reinhardt help, I'm able to take this D.Va out of her mech, and then we can focus fire our power on the enemy Rein as the only tank left on the team. And then, you know, with this Ana so focused on that, I'm a long-range threat that sometimes she's not going to be able to see coming, even though she does sleep dart me a few amazing times. And there's this Symmetra that's just easy pickings because, you know, she's not very fast and isn't going to be able to do anything against me long range. This soldier is going to try to engage me. Mercy's helping me because of that, you know, range advantage that I have. I'm most likely going to win that as long as I'm hitting my shots. And he comes up in here with his ult, thinks he's all fancy and panics, but you know, using that primary fire unscoped to my advantage. You know, you don't always have to be sniping, especially when you know when you're up against the tank, or, you know, their back is to you, they're focused on somebody else. You don't need to line up a perfect powered sniper shot, because A, if their back is to you, you're not going to be able to get a headshot, and B, if you just shoot with your assault rifle mode, you're going to get all those hits because you have a big target in front of you, and the risk reward is much more optimal than scoping in with your sniper, where even if you miss one time, then you've all of a sudden lost your effectiveness. So it's all about getting value out of each individual character. A, for the person playing it, as I help out the D.Va outside of her tank right here and finish off the Winston, or the Reinhardt. As well as your team getting value out of your role. As a Widowmaker, I'm doing what I should be doing in my team. First of all, I had a good team comp in order to make this effective. Widowmaker obviously isn't one of the best characters in the game. Same with Hanzo, you know, the snipers out there. Especially because they don't work with a lot of team comps. If I didn't have a Reinhardt and a D.Va here pushing in, and a Genji flying around flanking, then I would have way more attention on me. Take out this soldier. I don't know if he was trying to drop down an ult, but we neutralize that threat before it happens. We always using our ult. It doesn't have to be beneficial just to us. You know, quite often, Widowmaker's ult is more beneficial to all of her teammates as opposed to just herself, and using that ult, it can allow your teammates like that D.Va there to pick a position to fight off that enemy D.Va that I initiated the attack with a headshot, and she was able to clean that up because I had my ult out and she saw where she was and took advantage. So as long as my teammates are taking advantage of what I bring to the table, they maximize my value, and as long as my effort is good enough, you can give the team a good enough chance to win. So obviously there's plenty of comps and maps and situations where Widowmaker or Hanzo or, you know, whatever character that isn't, you know, you don't see in the meta all the time, like, you know, Roadhog, who's good in every single situation, he's just godly and amazing, and, you know, the best DPS character in the game, even though he's a tank and he's a huge health pool and all that good stuff and can self-heal. Widowmaker and Hanzo and some of the more niche characters can definitely find value, but only in certain compositions. We have 2 tanks here, and we have a healer, so especially because we have a Mercy, I have to be effective with the Widowmaker because I am a DPS character, so I need to get kills. I don't necessarily need to do damage. I don't even get bronze damage in this game, and that's because I make my shots count. You know, I'm not soloing every single thing. You know, I keep a couple headshots, I solo a couple of Symmetra or even Reinhardt a couple of times, and some of the Ana. But I make my shots effective. I use my advantages of a Widowmaker with that range and the ability to focus fire down on an enemy that is dealing with my teammate's defense matrix, my teammate's shield, and the Genji who's flying around. So all of a sudden they have so many different angles to worry about that a lot of people, especially because they don't consider Widowmaker to be a very good character, they don't prioritize her. You know, where often she's gonna be an easy target for a D.Va to fly up in her face, defense matrix, boop her, and then shoot her down. If the enemy team, you know, doesn't put themselves in a good position to fight Widow, and they aren't distracted by their teammates. Hell, if they started going after me, all of a sudden my tanks just start rolling through, we're pushing that payload, and I'm making all my Venom Mine shots count, putting them in good positions, got quite a few kills off of them, and we're able to push that overtime into a win because my team did a really good job at playing their roles, and I did a good job at playing my role. It's Widowmaker, and it's on attack. It's not something you see very often. It's not something you see recommended by so many people that are so concerned with the meta, but every single character can work. Throw the meta out the window, you know, unless you're in the top echelon of players. You'll still see in Masters where some non-conventional picks will have some success because they know how to do it and they play with teammates, you know, at least some of the time that know how to maximize the value out of each single character. So obviously, no matter what you're doing, if it doesn't work, don't do it. But if it does work and you can make it work, by all means, Widowmaker attack. I'm not gonna judge until I start seeing what the result is gonna be, and neither should you either. Final score on the attack, 30-3 with Widowmaker. 1 shot, 1 kill, or a bunch of shots, a bunch of kills, whatever works.